All right, we have a great presentation lined up for today. We have our great librarian here with us today, Ms. Rosa Sepulveda. She works here at the SU Library. You can see her wonderful, cheerful face there staring at all of us. She first started, she got a bachelor's in computer information systems and management from Park University. And after that, she continued to get her Master's of Science in Library Sciences from the University of North Texas, or UNT. That's an ALA accredited library science program, and I think there's only a handful in the country that are ALA accredited, and I know that's what's needed to become a librarian. So that's a very important credential for us to have here in our library with Ms. Rosa. She's been in education for 16 years. I know she's worked at other schools as a librarian, and she says she's loved every minute of it. And you can tell if you ever speak with her with the constant smile she has, she definitely loves every minute of what she does. She's planning to start another master's degree towards the end of this year. So that's also very exciting. We love to see not only our students continue their education, but employees, faculty, staff. So it's always great inspiration for everybody to see people striving for that next degree, next step in their education. This is very interesting. She's working on her first children's book based off of stories she made up for her 6-year-old. So that would be really cool I think I'll probably go talk to her about that later so I can see what that's all about. And she says that not everybody dreams of becoming a librarian, but she did, and she became a librarian, and she loves it. She loves helping everybody every single day. And I think if anybody goes to the librarian and gets a chance to talk with her, you can see that she's probably one of the more cheerful person I've ever met. So you can see that true love and passion she has for everything she does. But I want to thank you for taking the time and putting this information together. I know this is going to be super beneficial for a lot of our students. And she's going to be presenting on how to use EBSCO, which is an online database that students can access for help with research projects, research papers. And she's also going to be sharing some of the online library resources. So this will be really great for anybody watching to learn how to use these and take advantage of these resources. But again, thank you for taking the time, and I'll let you take over with the presentation.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate your time, and I'm just so thankful that everyone was able to join us. So what we're going to, first of all, again, my name is Rosa Sepulveda. I love being the librarianess here at SU. And if you ever have questions on research or anything, come on down and see us. We have a beautiful library, and it's welcoming and inviting and a wonderful place to sit, visit, and study. So come on down and see us at the library whenever you have a chance. So today I'm proud to give you a session on EBSCO. If you haven't used EBSCO before, it can be kind of daunting. There's so much information to go through in EBSCO. And that's what I'm hoping to do, to give you some tricks so it's not so daunting. It's not so, there's not so much information that you have to go through, and you can really focus and get the information that you need so that you can complete your research papers, your reports, and you're successful. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you for our EBSCO. So this is the website that you would use to log into EBSCO. Now, I do want to point out very quickly that many times our students do go to Google, and then they Google EBSCO, and it takes them to the EBSCO marketing site. And then they're having a lot of problems logging in. Well, the EBSCO marketing site is actually just marketing towards librarians, laboratories, clinics. So we really need you to, if you can, bookmark this page. It's search.ebscohost.com. That's going to take you to our site so that you can log in and get the information you need. Again, that's search.ebscohost.com. So please, if you can, bookmark that. And our user ID is Southwest University. Okay, again, that's no dashes, no spaces, all together, Southwest University. And if you notice on my computer, it automatically added that dash. That happens to a lot of people. So watch that. It added a space. So watch that space, go back, take that space off, and then go back to password. Now our password, we can't post that right now. We can't post that online, but if you just call the library, we'll be happy to give you our password. Now our password does change every 365 365 days. And if the password changes, just please feel free to contact the library, or you can send us an email. Give us your student ID, and we'll be happy to email you back with our password. And then we'll sign in. Now, one thing I do also want to point out is many of our students have tried to sign in using their Google username and password. Please don't do that. I need you to use our Southwest University user ID, and I need you to use our password. Okay, that's going to link you in. So make sure we get you linked in the correct way so you can access all those wonderful resources. Now, once you sign in, give it a couple of seconds. I know sometimes everybody seems like it's just going to rush right through, but depending on your connection, it might just take a couple of seconds. And here we go. As you can see, we are on the right-hand side at the top right. It'll say Southwest University. And on the left, you'll see some of our databases. For example, you have access to CenL Plus with full text. We have our ebook nursing collection. That's over 1,500 ebooks for nursing students. And they're all free. You can access these as many as you want. They're here for you free. We also have an amazing database called Academic Search Elite. We have our ebook collection and our ebook academic collection. And with those two ebook collections, you have access to 150,000 ebooks. That's quite a few ebooks. Feel free to access those as many times as you need. And again, they're all free for our students to use. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you on a quick search of a topic in EBSCO. And I'm going to take you through some tips and tricks slowly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select our databases. As you can see, I did select all, but today I'm going to deselect the ebook nursing collection and the ebook collection and the ebook academic collection. So I'm just going to hit Now, and I'm going to go ahead and choose our Academic Search Elite, and I'm going to create a search off of that. So those are our two major databases right now, and I'll continue. Now it's going to go ahead and take you to our search screen. The one thing I'd love to teach everyone is this is our basic search in EBSCO. I like to transition everyone to an advanced search. And if you click right here on advanced search, right underneath that search bar, it's going to take us to this screen. Now I know this screen looks rather daunting. This is the part where everybody gets a little nervous. Don't be nervous. This is going to make your life so much easier. So let's pretend we're going to do a search on diabetes. I'm just going to type in diabetes. Now, one thing I do want to let you know is that as you're typing in your search term, you're going to see your results on a drop-down screen. If you don't see your results, don't worry. Just make sure you're spelling the phrase or the words correctly, because if you don't, it's going to come back with 0 search results. You've got to make sure you're spelling it correctly. So once I added my subject, I'm going to click on search. And if you'll notice right here, at our search results, it says 640,000 results. Now, don't get nervous on me, okay? This is where those tips and tricks come in that I'm going to show you. I know that 640,000, just many times we see an amount like that, and we're just like, that's just too many articles to go through. Well, this is where those tools that I'm going to show you come in. I'm going to show you how to bring that number down so you can focus on your project. So let's say you're doing a research paper on diabetes. Before you come to EBSCO, though, I always like to recommend that our students sit down for a few minutes and write down a couple subject terms, maybe some key topics that they're going to research. For example, of course, diabetes is a huge subject. I mean, there's so many things. There's so many subjects when you just look for diabetes. Are you looking for gestational diabetes? Are you looking for juvenile diabetes? I mean, of course, there's a wealth of information on diabetes here. So let's use our Boolean operator and let's get a little bit more specific, because of course, EBSCO is a powerhouse. And I mean that, it is a powerhouse. As you can see, there's thousands and thousands of articles here. So let's focus a little bit. So as I was saying, when you have your subject topics, make sure to type them in and use your Boolean operator and. So right now I'm going to look for everything that has the subject diabetes and juvenile. Everything else is going to be cleared from our search results. So once I do that, you can see now we're really focusing down from where we started on our search results. Okay, if we scroll down a little bit, make sure that you're asking that you're clicking on full text. You want to see those full text articles so that you can use that information for your citations. So again, always click on full text, and right below that, if you'll see, we have our dates. As you can see, EBSCO has information here from the 1970s. I don't think we want to use that. So I'm going to go ahead and change my date here to 2010. Once I update that, we should have much fewer search results. And I always encourage you, please ask your instructors and your professors what date parameters they want to use. Make sure you're using the dates that they set. And as you can see here, our search results are now down to 192. Now that's a lot better than where we started. And if we wanted to use another subject term, we could use another Boolean, we could use a Boolean operator and type in another subject, or if you wanted to add an author, you can add another subject field, and we could select an author, and you have plenty of options to make sure that you're really focused on what you're looking for, and you'll have less search results. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and concentrate on this one. We're going to use this one for now. Skill training on insulin self-administration among children attending a juvenile diabetic clinic. Now, I'm not going to go into the article. I'm just going to use this as an example. And right here underneath the information, you'll see that we can click on our PDF full text. So I'm going to click on that now so you can see that article. And here's our article. And as you can see, you have access to the entire article here. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll right back up. On the left-hand side, you can see that we've got our detailed record if you wanted to see that information again. We've got the full text contents, and you can see all the information on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, there's some great options that I want to show you here. A lot of students don't use these options as much as I think that you should. There are wonderful options here, and I'm going to go through these really quick because I think that they make your life a lot easier. Okay, the first option that we have here is, again, a Google Drive. What I love about this is that if you're really used to using your Google Drive, you're used to saving documents in Google Drive, the EBSCO gives you the option to send it to Google Drive for you. I encourage our students, find a way that best works for you. Do you really like to use your Google Drive? Do you use a lot of folders in your email software? Do you use the iCloud? Whatever works best for you, use that. And that's what I do love about our options here, is that you'll have those options. So if you wanted to send this to Google and so that you could refer back to it later, you could do that. Now, right underneath here is still believe many about lungs and a nice if you still what that EBSCO gives us is the option to email. So if you are if you are maybe if you're having a hard time sending it to your Google Drive, or you just can't print it, and it's such a great article that you don't want to lose it, you can email it to yourself. EBSCO gives you the option of emailing it to yourself or a group of people. So if you're working in a group and creating a project and you've just found an amazing article, I encourage you, email it to yourself. Email it to everybody in in your group. As you can see, I just clicked on it, and all you have to do, it'll come from email support, and you just add everyone's email, a subject, and comments. I do encourage you add subject and comments, because depending on the software you're using for your email system, it might go into the junk folder, and we don't want that to happen. We want you to be able to get the article you need right at your inbox. Right underneath that, we have an option to add to folder. Now, I love this option within EBSCO. The reason being is that sometimes our emails are rather full. And sometimes we have a lot of information in our Google Drive or in our iCloud, and there's just a lot of information there. Well, what I like about EBSCO is that it gives you can sign in, you can use your own, you get to select your own username and password. You can sign in right here at the top, create it with your username and password that you select. I encourage you to use your Southwest University email. That way, if you have to retrieve that, it'll go straight to your Southwest University email, and you won't have any problems with that. But what you're doing here is, when you find an article, after you sign in, if you find an amazing article that you really want to save, you can add it to a folder. And basically what EBSCO does is it creates a table of contents of all the articles that you've selected as your favorites. And you're able to go back to those anytime you need to. Now, this is a great way to keep all the articles that you're using for your academic career in one place. And then that way you're not constantly sending it to your Google Drive or to your email, but they're all here. And then think of it this way. If you wanted to go back 2 semesters from now and you said, oh, wow, I had such an amazing article, and I can't remember what that was. Well, it's right here in your folder. So again, it's very simple to create a username and password, sign in, make a folder, and every time you find a fantastic article, just go ahead and add it to your folder, and EBSCO will have that table of contents there for you. And you'll be able to refer to all of those articles for as long as you're at SU. Now, don't worry about the amount of articles that you want to save there. I've had over 200, so trust me, there's plenty of space. Now, the next option right down here is one of my favorites. So this is our cite option. And a lot of students are not aware of this. So pay close attention here. Okay. When you click on cite, let's say this is the article that we're going to use for our paper. This is an amazing article. Let's use this option, cite. As you can see right here, EBSCO gives us our citation format. So not just there's several citation formats. So be very careful with the one you select. As you see, there's A, B, and T. There's AMA 11th edition. And right underneath there, that's our APA 7th edition. So you've got your citation right there in the proper format. Now, I also encourage you, be very careful. If it doesn't say, if it's not specific to APA 7th edition, then you need to double check that citation. Now, students should know APA. We have our APA manual here at the library. You're welcome to come use it, refer to it. But I love to show you all this because there's, like I said, no reason to reinvent the wheel. If it's right here for you, we can give you a helping hand. So again, remember, if you copy and paste it over into your email software or into Word, be very careful that any of the formatting might change. Again, remember, APA always has that hanging indent, so you've got to make sure that that's there, okay? And if you needed to, you can scroll down and you can see some of the other citation formats. But here at Southwest, we're always using APA. And I'm just gonna bring that down. And I'm gonna go ahead and go back to our results list, and I'm gonna show you another search. Now, the great thing is we can go back, create another search, or just modify the search we were doing. I'm actually just gonna go to the left and do a new search. Okay, again, I'm not going to use our basic search. Always do your advanced search. I know it's kind of daunting, but once you get used to it, it's going to be a breeze, I promise. So this time, I'm just going to type in my search word for autism. And again, make sure you spell it correctly. And of course, on the drop-down screen, you'll see several options. And as you can see, if I just typed in autism, 85,000 search results. I know we can't go through 85,000 results. So let's use that Boolean operator. Let's really focus on what we're gonna complete our project on. So let's say we're gonna do a project on autism and maybe nurses. I'm just gonna type in nurse. And again, now I'm asking EBSCO, if it doesn't have autism and nurse in the subject or in the topic, please just get it out of there. As you can see, we went down to 793, a lot better than where we were, but let's keep going. Again, another option, we're gonna scroll down, we're gonna look on the left-hand side, and you're gonna see our limitations. So I'm gonna click on full text. I don't want videos, I don't want pictures. I just want to see anything that has a full text article. But before I do that, let me remind you, EBSCO is a powerhouse. So there are a lot of abstracts in our search results as well. And of course, those abstracts are just summaries. So we're gonna ask EBSCO to get rid of those also. We just wanna focus on any result that has the full text article. Once I click on that, it will update. You can see we're down to 208, but watch what happens when I change my dates. So yes, there is an article from 1986 in here. So let's go ahead and use 2010. And again, please, I ask you and encourage you, ask your instructors and your professors what date ranges they want you to use. Just for today's example, I'm going to use 2010. And once we update, we're down to 193. And we could use another Boolean operator. We could even make it more specific. As you can see, this is how we're going from a huge result number straight down to a smaller number that's more manageable, and we can focus and look for the articles we need. So here's another great article. It's working with a patient with autism spectrum condition. There's actually several wonderful articles here. And you can scroll down, of course, you can see all of the titles that are available. And of course, at the bottom, if you need it, if those were not what you were looking for, you can click on the next page. But I am going to go ahead and use this one. I think this is a fantastic article, Handle with Care, Top 10 Tips a Nurse Should Know Before Caring for a Hospitalized Child with Autism Spectrum Disorder. Now, instead of clicking on PDF full text this time, I'm actually going to go ahead and just click on the title. When we click on the title, you'll see that we're going to have access to all the information that we would need for our reference list. For example, our title, we can have our major subjects, abstract, and of course, additional information we would need for our reference list. What I would like to hear, though, is that what I'd like to show you, though, is that let's say this was a perfect article. You said, this is exactly what I was looking for. Well, if you look at your major subjects and your minor subjects, what EBSCO does, I think that is fantastic, is it gives you the subjects that were tied to this article. For example, education, continuing credit, autistic disorder, symptoms, psychosocial factors, family-centered care, communication, habits, rituals and ceremonies, patient compliance, patient safety. And of course, there's much more. So the major and minor subjects are subjects that we can use to create another search. Okay, maybe we want to find for an article, maybe we found this fantastic article and we're like, again, how can I find something else that's almost close to this or pretty right on? Well, look at these major subjects, minor subjects, and if you found one that you hadn't thought of before, you can go back up and create a new search, and you could type in autism and frustration, or autism and rituals and ceremonies, or autism and patient compliance, and autism and patient safety. So now you have a lot more subjects that you can use for your searches, and that'll help you narrow down your search field to exactly what you're looking for. Another thing you can do is that if it's in blue, You can just click on it and EBSCO will create a new search based on that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on family-centered care. And now, as you can see, we came back to a new search screen with our results. Our results are 8,304 for family-centered care. And you can look through those articles and of course, be more specific. Use your Boolean operators, change your dates, look for full PDF text, and focus on the information that you need to complete your project. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go back one. And I want to show you one more thing before we go. So again, all of this information would be what you would need for your reference list. But again, what I love is giving you all options. So we could click on our PDF full text. We can review that document. We can read it. We can do anything we need to do. And on the right-hand side, look right over here, you have your options again. We can send it to Google Drive. This is exactly what you needed. You can add to your EBSCO folder. You can print it if you needed to print it, email it to yourself or to a group. You could save. And again, if you needed to, you could click on Cite. And the third one down, again, is APA 7th edition. So again, I love to show everyone that because they forget that that's there. I think that that's such a value for our students that that EBSCO has that citation format there for you. But remember, you should always know your APA citation formats, but we love to give you a hand. And then if you copy and paste it over, again, please don't forget, watch the formatting as you're copying it or pasting it into the other program. The format might change. For example, it might italicize, it might bold the entire citation. And of And again, remember, please remember that if you need to come to EBSCO, it is search.ebscohost.com. And then you would need to sign in. Now, remember, your user ID is Southwest University, and contact your library for the password. And I'm going to stop sharing. I hope that these little tips and tricks helped you all today. And I hope that I encourage you to give EBSCO a try, because it's not as daunting once you understand how to use all the options. And I think it'll be a lot easier and help you get the information you need.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Rosa. If anybody watching has any questions, if you're on the Zoom call, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question, or if you want to type it out and submit it, you can do so as well. But I did have a couple questions. When it comes to EBSCO and using the online databases, what's typically kind of where you see students struggle with the most? Like, what's the one question that usually pops up when they're trying to search for, for something to reference or an article or something?
I believe that one of the biggest a question that comes to me frequently is how to be very specific in completing a search. For example, the example I gave on diabetes. Oh my gosh, that's a wealth of information. That's too much information for people to sort through. Can see anyone's frustration when they see search results and say, 368,000, 750,000, and it just kind of gets you a little worried at that point that you're not going to find the information you need. So I love to work with everyone to really focus on. I love to work with everyone and give them a few minutes to just using a pad and paper, jot down a couple of the search terms you're going to be looking for before you come to EBSCO. That way you're going to be able to use the Boolean operators to really narrow down what your search and look for the subjects that you need.
Can I add something? Hello, can you hear me?
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
When you are struggling with that, you can do a Boolean search. You are using some terms to connect ideas, like without, or, not, and these terms are helping you to clear our research. Yes, so we can always recommend our students to do this kind of research with the Boolean terms.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I, go ahead, Ms. Rosa.
And most times I've noticed that students have not used them before. So I try to just kind of get them used to using the using and first, and then we kind of go from there. So I kind of think of it, step by step. Once they're familiar and start feeling more successful with their searches in EBSCO, I try to introduce the other Boolean operators, and it's just like a whole new level of searches for them, which is where we want them to be. We want them to be successful.
And then we had another question that was submitted. They were asking, can we export the searches to Zotero? Are you familiar with Zotero? So Zotero is a free open source reference management system software. So it's used to maintain, the bibliographies, references, and all that stuff. Are you familiar with any export functions for the searches to other reference management systems?
Not to Zotero. Not to Zotero. I'm not I haven't had a student ask for that, but that's something I can research and get back to everyone with.
But we can export it to another kind of resource management, reference management, because this is a problem with EBSCO. When you do a search and you wanna do a good searching, sometimes you wanna save your search and start to looking forward in these articles, but sometimes there are like 100 articles and sometimes 1,000 articles, so it's quite difficult if you want to clear this search. So you cannot save it in any database or in a reference management program.
Right. So I know, Ms. Rosa, you went over how to save it straight on to the EBSCO, the search terms and everything. But again, are you familiar with any other resource bibliography management systems or softwares that you can export those to? And if not, we can wait for you to look it up and get back to us.
I can look that up and get back to you all. The capability is there, not that I did not prepare that today, but I'd be happy to look that up, get the information, and send that out to everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. I think that was all the questions. But since we have you here and you are our librarian, I did want to ask if you can let us know where the library is and the library hours. So if a student wants to go in and speak with you or somebody at the library, where they can go and the best times for them to go in.
Well, right now our hours are 8 a.m. Our hours are 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We're trying to really give our students a wide span of time where they can come in and use the library. On Wednesday, though, we're open from 8 to 5, and on Friday from 9 to 1. So again, that's Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Wednesdays, we're going to be open from 8 to 5, and on Fridays from 8 to 1. And we're right here on Montana, and we're located right next to the Wendy's. So if you're going east on Montana and you've just passed the Wendy's, you just went a little too far, just come on right back, and you'll see we've got our Southwest University sign. We've got it on the building. It does. A lot of students do tend to pass the building, but just look for the Southwest University sign on our building and come on right back into the library. We'll be waiting for you.
And then one more thing, if somebody does go into the library, what can they do there? What resources are there for them to use?
Okay. Well, right now we do have over 1,400 printed volumes that you can come use. You're welcome to come into the library. You can study. We do have over 25 computers that you can use. So if you don't have your computer or your iPad with you and you just need a place to come and use a computer, you're welcome to do that. We also have printing services. So if you need to print some articles or your research document for your instructor, you can come do that here in the library as well. If you have any questions or you're struggling with SU learning, come on in. We'll be happy to help you with anything you need. And if we can't help you, we're going to direct you to the right person that can clarify what you need and get you the answers. And if you just want to come in and sit and study, again, you're welcome to come do that. The library is a great place to be.
For the students that don't live immediately in the El Paso area or that travel for work, is EBSCO the best place for us to use as like a digital library?
Yes, you can access EBSCO from anywhere. I've had students send me emails from Peru and they were able to access EBSCO way down there. So yes, as long as you have access to the internet, you'll be able to go to search.ebscohost.com and access our resources there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just a reminder for that too, again, there's the Southwest University specific login. So if you need those credentials, make sure to email Ms. Rosa or one of your instructors, and they can provide you with those credentials.
And all the credentials are also located on the top right when you access SU Learning. So just look for SU Library on the top right, and you'll see all the information there as well. And that'll give you your username and the password. And if the password changes, or if you're having problems with the password, again, we'll update it on SU Learning, because we do have to update the password once every 365 days.
Alrighty. So I don't see any more questions, but if you could just share with us your preferred contact information in case a student or anybody needs to follow up with a question that might pop up.
So feel free to call us here at the library, and the number is 915-778-4001, and our extension is 2022. And if you wanted to send me an email, you're welcome to send me an email at rquintela@southwestuniversity.edu, and that's RQUIN as in Nancy, T as in Tom, ELA @southwestuniversity.edu.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for the demonstration and the information and the advice and the tips and tricks.
Thank you for joining me today. Thanks to all of you. I hope this helps everyone. And please share this information with everyone you know, because we want to make sure everybody has the tools and tricks they need, to be successful in their papers. Again, thanks for inviting me. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and keep an eye on SU Learning for future SU Teaches, SU Talks. But thank you again for taking the time and for showing us how to work all this stuff. But thank you again, and everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.